everyone, Daniel here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, we're going to be talking about the two latest episodes of Daredevil. That's right. If you're watching this live on the 25th or the 26th, after that, Disney actually dropped two episodes of Daredevil Born Again, episode 5 and 6. So we're going to get into both of them. Before I get into spoilers, I think both of these episodes, it makes sense that they would release them together. Episode 5 itself feels very much like a bottle episode. It is connected in some sort of way, but it really feels like maybe a leftover of the original show, where it's not really, it doesn't feel connected to the larger story. But then on episode 6 we come back to the main story that we have been following. So it was both of them very entertaining in their own way, very different. That you can really feel the difference between both of them, where one of them feels just a lot of stuff happening, and in the meanwhile, episode 5 just felt like a very cool, like, one-off Daredevil. So interesting. It's a really interesting way to approach this show. So let's get into it. We're gonna start with Daredevil Born Again episode 5 with interest. In this one, Matt goes to the bank. He's trying to raise funding, as we learned earlier on, for the firm. And who happens to be the assistant manager helping him out in this bank? None other than Yusuf Khan, who you may know as Kamala Khan's dad from Ms. Marvel. So if you haven't seen Ms. Marvel, this means nothing to you. But if you are like me and have watched every single minute of the MCU, you know that this is Kamala's dad. So yeah, very cool. I mean, she gets brought up a few times, although I don't think we're gonna meet her in the show. It wouldn't make sense. They mentioned that she's in LA, and all my mind immediately goes to, like, are they starting a West Coast Avengers thing or whatever? Anyways, I don't think any of that stuff will pay off in this episode. But this episode is actually about a bank robbery. So a gang. It is St. Patty's Day in New York, or I guess everywhere. It's St. Patty's Day when they decide to rob this bank. Uh, it's a just very straightforward robbery until it's not. We meet Devlin, who is kind of like the leader of the gang here that comes in, um, and he mentions that there's another boss. There's an ulterior motive because this bank doesn't really carry cash. It only has like these safety deposit boxes. So why are they going to that bank? What are they stealing? I think it all kind of leads back to Fisk in some sort of way, because that's probably where all crime in New York leads to. So it's really interesting, but it's a good episode. Matt had left the bank. He comes back because he hears this. He becomes a hostage, and then little by little begins to kind of take down these guys until they're able to save everyone. But there's some really interesting highlights. Matt has to open up a safe, like the vault, which is really cool, and he makes a joke that not only he's also a really good lawyer, which is something that we kind of heard him say in Spider-Man, right? When people ask him, "What kind of lawyer are you?" He's just like, "A good one." Um, like I mentioned, this is an inside job. We see the leader Devlin. Uh, he dresses up as a cop so that he can leave, and it made me think, like, is he one of the Punisher cops, or is he just like using that to get out of there? But Matt follows Devlin. He beats some senseless. Like, he puts one of the guys was wearing a red mask, which is, I love all the little hints of, like, the Daredevil in Matt just kind of coming back into the fold. And yeah, he beats him up, takes the diamond back, which is what they really wanted, and returns it to the bank eventually. It does leave off with, we do get to see Yusuf Khan again, uh, and he invites Matt over for dinner at some point. So, like I said, I don't know that will get paid off in this season, but it's a really nice Easter egg um, for just MCU people that have watched everything. Like I said, this is the episode that feels like maybe it's a remnant of the old show. It doesn't really move a lot of things because the next episode, it touches on the whole, the gangs not respecting Fisk and all that. So yeah, interesting though. But I mean, yeah, is Fisk the one that's truly in charge? It really like I really like the feel of it. That was a little bit of a heist. And now Daredevil Born Again episode 6, Excessive Force. We get back to everything that we've been working on. The Fisk storyline with the city, and the Muse. Everything kind of gets revisited here. So I really, really enjoyed this one as well. This one feels more like this is now part of the show that maybe the last one is like the last, maybe the last episode is the last remnant of the original show. And then from here on, because they had shot a few already, shot a few episodes. We begin with Matt praying, and as he's praying, he's kind of reliving and thinking about all the violence, all the fights, Foggy, like all the stuff in his life that's going on. His girlfriend, she talked to him a little bit about wanting to do her next book being about vigilantes and masks, and even mentions like if Matt could help her set up an interview with the Punisher or Daredevil. We also see that Luca, the gangster from a few episodes ago, visits Fisk in the office. This was a bad idea for Luca. There's no way that Fisk is going to acquiesce to any of his demands. Um, we do see that, or I guess finally somebody figures out that the murals are made out of human blood, and then they relay this news to Fisk, and this is kind of what gets the ball rolling because obviously there is now a serial killer in New York that people didn't know about, but they will find out very very soon. Angela Ayala visits Matt. She mentions that the White Tiger was looking for the missing people, and these are the people that we know Muse is taking to take their blood. She's gonna do something very dumb. We also see a character from Hawkeye. I won't ruin who it is. It's probably not the biggest surprise, but um, we get a little bit of a callback to this character during one of the BB segments as well. So it's interesting that this is like, yeah, the little Easter eggs, the little stuff that they reward you with if you watch more of the MCU. Like it's still a lot of fun. So Fisk, Cherry visits Matt and also tells him about the serial killer Muse. But Cherry doesn't want Matt to go after him. Like, he's like, leave this to the cops. You don't need to go back to being Daredevil. Obviously, Matt's not going to do that. Matt is going back to being Daredevil. That's the whole point of the show. Fisk also makes a task force for vigilantes, but specifically to catch Muse. And he uses all the cops that are in this, like, the subculture of the Punisher, right? All those cops that we've known with the tattoos and that they do kind of things on their own terms. They are kind of brought in to this task force. Fisk handpicked them specifically because he knows that they'll go those extra steps outside the law to take down vigilantes. In the meanwhile, we find out Angela looking for Muse on her own. This was a bad idea. She gets caught. Um, oh, I forgot earlier. Muse found two girls saw Muse painting, so he killed them and just kind of introduced himself to the world. And now New York knows that there's a serial killer out there by the name of Muse. Uh, to close out the show, once again, we have these parallels between Fisk and Daredevil, where Matt goes back, he puts on the suit again, and he starts hunting down Muse because he realizes that Angela is now in trouble. In the meanwhile, Fisk goes down to beat up on Adam. Like he gives him an axe too, so it's not like he was just. But I mean, this was an unfair fight, very one-sided. In the meanwhile, Daredevil finds Muse and also beats the holy heck out of him. They have a really cool fight too. Um, but I think towards the end of the show, what I heard was that the cops are also closing in. So maybe Daredevil's gonna have to get away because obviously uh, these cops don't care that Daredevil's the one they're beating up Muse. They're just gonna take out all the vigilantes, and even Angela could get caught in this crossfire. So very interesting way to leave things off. Episode 6. There's only 3 more for this season, which is crazy how far we've already gone. But I mean, dropping 2 in one night will do that. So, if you enjoyed these 2 episodes, let me know what you thought. Let me know down in the comments, or if you didn't, let me know about it as well. Um, Make sure to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And of course, stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye.